whenever the moon and stars are set, whenever the wind is high, all night long it is dark and wet, and man goes riding by. Late in the night when the fires are out, why does he gallop and gallop about?
I have a garage door opener. I keep it up here on my visors of my vehicles, right here. Hopefully that shows for you. And I have a garage door opener. I keep that in my garage on the ceiling. It's connected to the garage door. That's how it functions, in case you don't know that. On cold mornings, the garage door opener doesn't work. So you got to take it, and where the buttons are, there's little cracks. You have to, you know, do the hot breath as hot as you can into the cracks of the button to warm up the guts of the clicker, and then it'll work. See? On cold mornings, it won't work. So you got to literally do that. You got to literally sit here and huff and puff on that freaking clicker to get it to open. So try that if you guys have that same issue. Hold it in your hand and then hot air into that thing a few times and press the button. When you warm up the guts of it, it'll open the freaking garage door. Today we're going to build an electric bike. That's what today's vlog is going to be. Electric bikes are really cool. They're fun to have. They get you outside, especially if you have a disability, aches and pains. You might be up there in age and you want to have a little get back home security. You want to get out and ride with your grandkids or your kids or whatever. Or you just want to travel without getting sweaty. You just want to get to work without being sweaty. These are really neat little deals, okay? I'm going to show you two kits today. One I have installed and one I'm going to install. And this isn't a how-to install. This is just, you know, I'm just going to have you guys spend a little time with me and we're going to do the end results, and we're going to do it on my Recumbent. I had an electric kit on my mountain bike for a little while, rear wheel drive. It was in the rear wheel, and it's a lot of fun, but it adds weight to the mountain bike. And when me and my boys want to go to the parks and do the mountain bike trails, they have like professional trails here for mountain bike races. When we go there, it's not cool. It's got a lot of extra weight. Even if I don't bring the battery pack, still the wheel is there, and I can't do the jumps and stuff right because you got an extra 8 pounds of freaking motor on the back wheel. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But this is badass. This is a trike, 3-wheel bike. So the way this works is the motor is the wheel. So that big old thing right there is called a direct drive hub. And it's got magnets in there. And when it gets energized from the battery source, the more energy you put through the throttle, the more the magnets create a flow, which actually the magnets want to spin the axle backwards. But when you lock the axle down and you put this safety lock on the fork to make sure that it doesn't spin out of your forks, it causes the wheel to spin the other way. And that becomes your propulsion. And so there you go. This is a heavy mofo. These aren't heavy, or these aren't light. These are like 12 or 15 pound motors. And this is a 20-inch wheel. So you see it's a short little, stout little deal there. But yeah, you got your wheel right there mounted to the axle, any axle, right? Any size fork, I mean. And then the cable comes out here, right? And then here's your quick disconnect, waterproof quick disconnect, so you can take your wheel on and off the bike without having to cut your cables or cut your zip ties. And then this goes back down to the back. Coming up here, you have quick disconnects to your computer, which is your on-off. Also, you could run brake handles that as soon as you squeeze the brake, it turns, as soon as you squeeze the brake, it turns the motor off, even if you're on the throttle. I don't ever run those with the kits that I would use. I don't run them. And then, you know, you got your quick connect comes to the computer here, and then your other one comes up here to the throttle. Now you can get kits with different throttles. Most kits on eBay and stuff like that have both throttles included. One is a twist throttle, like a motorcycle. And then one, if you have the gears that are here, twist grip gears, then you can run the thumb throttle, and I'll show you that later. The red button is reverse, so you can back up. So on a trike, that's pretty cool. You don't have to put your feet down. So you have a throttle, you have a computer, you have a motor. The wires come back, they go to the basket, they go into a bag or a box or whatever you want. You put your batteries, you put your controller. And the controller gets power from the batteries, and the controller feeds the power here to the wheel by the amount of power is considered by the twist of the throttle. And there you go. That's your electric bike. That's how an electric bike works. Too simple. And that, again, is a direct drive. You can get those for just about any size wheel you want. Those will last you a freaking lifetime because there's no moving parts in there. It's all magnets and coils and stuff. There's no gears or anything like that. The problem with direct drive motors is when you spin that wheel, if you just spin that wheel, there's a little bit of drag on it. Not much. Let me see if I can show you. See how quickly that stopped? That shouldn't stop that quick. So you got a little bit of drag. If you're pedaling without using the throttle, that provides a little bit of drag. But that's a direct drive, and that's the kit. Now, you can get these in any brand, they're all over. They all come from China. They're all the same shit. I wouldn't pay more than about $500 delivered to my door for a bike kit, and then plus the battery. Batteries make a difference. Batteries depend on what you want to use. We're just going to use some sealed lead acid batteries, the same batteries that you would find in toys like this. They're the cheap batteries, 12 volt, 12 amp hour sealed lead acid battery, about $45 each. Done deal. You get about a year out of them. They're heavy as hell. You could use lithium and all that stuff if you want, but then you're talking $500, $600, $700 for just a battery. Just a 10 amp hour battery. And a 10 amp hour battery will get you about, depending on your weight and hills and stuff like that, it'll get you about 15 miles of travel. 12 amp hour sealed lead acid battery, if you could put it on a trike like that, that can handle all that weight, you'll go about 20, 25 miles. Helping you out. You could do some light pedaling where there's hills and starting off and stuff like that. But basically you cruise 10, 11 miles an hour on a trike, which is plenty fast on a trike. You can go about 20 miles. All right, now let's go check out the motor kit that I'm actually putting on my recumbent for this Saturday's race. Okay, just for shits and giggles, I got the direct drive motor right here. This is the direct drive motor that you just saw on the trike. That is a gear drive motor. Okay, this weighs like 12 freaking pounds. This weighs like 6 pounds. Okay, this has internal gears, so it doesn't last forever, but it'll last a long time. But it's not going to last forever. The advantage of this over this, hi Rocky, much lighter, and there's no rotational drag. So if you're not on the power, if you're not using the electric, you won't even know that that wheel has a motor in it. There's no drag. This, heavy as hell, and has a pretty decent amount of drag. So if you only want your motor as a get-home motor, I would say you go with a gear drive. If you are disabled, if you're got issues, if you are in it for the long haul, if you're going to use it every day as a form of transportation, then I would consider using the direct drive because it'll last you a lot longer. You'll get more use out of this one than you will out of this one, but it's not that big of a deal. And if you go with a reputable company, you can get replacement motors. If that motor breaks or something, you don't have to buy a whole new kit. You could have them send you a new motor and wheel already laced up for you, and you just swap it out. Not a big deal. You can also lace these up into front wheel drive. Like this one's a front motor. This one's for a front wheel. No, this one's for a back wheel. No, this one's for a front wheel. Yep, with disc brakes if you want. This one's for a back wheel with disc brakes because it has the gears. So I actually have the gears on this one. I know the lighting kind of sucks. It's a little bit early in the day, but it'll get better. This one actually has 7 speeds, which is cool because the bike we're going to put it on is a 7-speed in the back too. So we're just going to swap it out. Now, you do have to do some adjustments of your derailleur back there whenever you swap it out. So gear drive, direct drive. Here's the controller that I wasn't able to show you on the trike because I don't have the controller out there or the batteries. But this goes to the battery, and this goes up to, one goes to the motor, and one goes to the wire that went up by the handlebar that then forked out to the throttle and to the computer. So this one goes to the computer and the throttle. This one goes to the motor. This one goes to your battery. Here's an extension wire for the motor to make it up to the controller. Here is the wire that goes to the controller or to the computer or to the throttle here. The yellow one's the throttle, the green one's the computer. Here's the computer, so that goes like that. Here's the thumb throttle that I said I was going to use because I have twist shift. So that this is the thumb throttle here. So that goes on the handlebars. There's a little spacer, and thumb throttles will come with little grips. I don't use them. I use the grips that I used on the bike in the first place. And so that's it. That's your kit. Throttle, computer, or on-off switch or whatever. The extension cables that are all waterproof with quick disconnects goes back to the controller. Then the controller goes up to the wheel right here to the battery. Done. That's your electric bike kit. You'll find kits like this $400 or $500 shipped to your door, eBay, Amazon. I'll link to one down below in the description on Amazon. Good company that I've used in the past. The only thing left to do now will be to build a battery pack. We'll do that later. Let's go ahead and get this kit installed. Okay, as you see, I got my recumbent upside down. And because the very first thing that you always want to do is start with your wheel. There's no sense in taking your handlebars and stuff apart if there's going to be an issue with aligning your wheel motor. So let's go ahead. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to change out the wheel. So here's the factory rim that it came with. 7-gear sprocket with the derailleur. It's a 26-inch circumference wheel. So I got the 26-inch built up. These motors can come in any size just about you want. You could tell them you need a 20-inch, a 24, a 26, a 700C, 28, a 29er. 700, 28, and 29 are all the same. 29, 28, the difference between those and the 700C is your tires. So just understand that. But make sure you add, like I said, this isn't a how-to. I'm just giving you guys some information. So the first thing we need to do is we need to loosen up the brakes so we can get the wheel off. And then we're going to take this rim off. We're going to put this tire and tube on my motor tire and tube. That's going to be the first steps. Okay, so like I said, the first thing you do, you swap the wheel out, the tire and tube, and you put that onto your built-up motorized rim, ready to rock. So there we go. Pay attention, guys, to arrows for alignment in case you have, what's it called? Directional tires. And don't forget, make sure you put the little rubber band, the protector in here. See that inside there? There's that little rubber protector for the spoke nuts. Make sure you reinstall that. I'm going to go ahead and put the motor on now. There really is. There's no, like, you got an axle that is grooved right here. Maybe that's showing. I don't know. Right here. It's flat and flat. So you put that into the fork of your bike. And then you have these safety washers that have this little clip. You put that to the bottom of the opening. I'll try to show you that later. I'm not trying to do a how-to here, guys, so. All right, so here's what I did. I had to adjust my brakes back and adjust my derailleur a little bit. You got high and low gears here, or screws, to adjust how far the derailleur goes back and forth. Again, not a how-to, okay guys? That's something for you and your bike shop to figure out or watch other videos. But it's important that you get things going. So we're in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we got it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. You guys remember when I spun the wheel out on the trike and it like stops really quick? Here's a gear driven wheel. You see how it just keeps going? I didn't even put any pressure on that. Now here's a little bit of pressure. That just keeps going. That other wheel would have stopped a long time ago. It was like done. This one here, there's no drag, there's no rotational drag. That clicking you hear is the freewheel, the gears here, whatever it's called. Yeah, freewheel, right? Freewheel clicking. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to build our cockpit controls here, okay? We got our rider controls. This is the computer. This will show you your speed, your distance, and your battery charge. This will not sync properly with the wheel motor that I put on. I know this because this is from one kit and that motor is from a different kit. I do have another gear motor that it would work with, but I don't have it laced up with sprocket or with spokes to a rim, and I don't care to because I don't use this for anything more than to see where my battery level is and to turn the thing on and off. That is really it. I don't, if I remember right, I'm trying to go off of memory. If I remember right, I don't believe I can get this to sync up and show me the correct speed and the correct mileage that the bike is actually going. And that's what I have the Garmin GPS for anyways. This just helps you with the battery level. This is your throttle, and we're gonna put the throttle right here. And to do that, we have to move the brake over, put this on, slide this off, slide the handlebar, slide the grip off, slide this off, slide this on, slide this back on, and then put the grip on, but cut the grip because there's a curve here. So I can only bring this to about here, about half of what I need. So this grip is gonna be a little bit too long, but that's okay because you'll be like this on the throttle anyways, and there's extra space here that you're not gonna be using. Okay, I got the throttle on, and like I said, I pulled this off, I pulled that off, the shifter, moved the brake up a little bit to the curve of the bar here, put this on, put this back on, tighten it all down, and then I cut my extra little hand grip here, cut a little bit off, about this much cut off, slipped it back on with a little 3M spray glue. You could also use some hairspray, will help glue that on if you don't have any like you know, 3M glue, but I put some 3M glue on there, spray glue, so that's done, and so that's it. So you ride along like this, and when you want power, you just give it the old 1-2 there with the thumb throttle. Sweet, huh? Pretty cool. So that's that. So now we got, here's the cable for this. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my little computer on, and then that's going to have a cable, and that's going to plug into that accessory extension wire that goes to the back to the controller. Once we do that, guys, we're done. All we got to do now is build up a battery pack. I'll show you how to do that real fast. For some of you young guys that don't really understand electricity stuff. And yeah, we're going to be squared away. We're going to be out there riding this electric bike pretty soon. We're going to be doing about 20 miles an hour. Now, 36-volt electric bikes will go about 20 miles an hour with a 26-inch wheel. If you go with the 29er, you might get 21.5 miles an hour. If you got a 20-inch wheel, you might get like 14, 15 miles an hour. So it all has to do with the circumference. They're going to spin they're going to max out at a certain speed. The bigger the circumference, the faster your top end speed is going to be. The smaller the circumference, the quicker it's going to launch, but then it's going to top out pretty quick at a lower speed. So 26-inch, 36-volt battery kit, you're going to go about 20 miles an hour. When you start getting into the 48 volt battery kits, which are nice, but it's an extra weight of battery, so it gets a little bit more heavy. It's pretty cool, but you're gonna be going about 27, 28 miles an hour, and that's without pedaling. Badass. So let's put the computer on. There we go. So the computer's on right here. So we got our throttle, brake. Here's the cable that goes with the yellow cable, goes to our extension. And just make sure that this is adjusted to the height you want, you know, where you want it. I could have this directly in the center, but I don't want it in the center because I'm gonna have my GPS here and I wanna be able to access my mounts here so I can do whatever. So that looks like it's pretty good to me. So I'm gonna tighten this up, and then the next thing I do is we're gonna connect our wires. We're gonna run our wires to the back, connect our controller, and we're done. We can go ride our bike. We're safe to ride our bike. The only thing I need now is a battery pack. All right, so let me give you a quick update where we're at. Thumb throttle's connected, display's connected, wires are all run. Pretty stealthy looking. Kind of funny, huh, since it's called a stealth recumbent. Wires go underneath the seat, come up the side of the seat here. Controller right there in the air. It's a waterproof controller. Well, I should say it's weatherproof controller. It's not waterproof, but it's right there. It's all sealed up, and I like controllers to get air, so because that thing's going to get pretty warm when you use it. So I like it out there. Let it get some air instead of having it stuffed in the bag, into this bag here. All the wires are there, ready to rock. Quick disconnect. This goes to the battery. When I build my battery, those are called Anderson connectors. You got the red and the black, obviously positive, negative. And then when you get your 3 batteries to make 36 volts, then that's how you do it. These are like aircraft RC, stuff like that, RC aircraft, whatever. People like to use those. You can get those on eBay pretty cheap. Again, that's Anderson connectors. And then the bag right here for the batteries, you could put a really lightweight 36 volt, 15 amp hour lithium ion battery in here. Very expensive, very light though, extremely light. I'm gonna go and get 3 10 amp hour 12 volt batteries to make it 36 volt 10 amp hour, and that's gonna get me plenty of battery power, and it won't be too heavy. It'll fit in this bag, and done deal. And the only thing in this bag will be the battery. Everything else is outside of the bag. So if I ever want to take this bag off for whatever reason, I'm not going to use the electric, I could just pull the battery out, disconnect it right here, and leave the kit installed on the bike, and you never even really know it's there unless you're really looking for it. But you got no rotational drag on the wheel motor, nothing. So even like this, you can't even see that it's got a motor. Honestly, you wouldn't even know. It's so small and it don't make any noise, so you just ride your bike and do your thing. And of course, I put my flag back on. So we got the flag back on. That's Sam's flag. Okay, before I go any further, let me show you what we got here. This is a battery pack. This is their Duracell sealed lead acid batteries. These are 12 volt, 12 volt, 12 volt. These are 3 individual batteries that I taped together to make a brick. They're 12 volt, 10 amp hour batteries. We need to make this 12 volt, this 12 volt, this 12 volt, 36 volts. So the way you do that is you take the positive from one to the negative of the one right next to it, and that makes these two now 24 volt. Then you take the positive of this one and you make it to the negative of this one. Now all 3, when you touch this positive and this negative to a source, this is now a 36 volt battery. If you add another battery and you go positive to negative, then that positive and this negative would now be 48 volts. And then you have 60 volts, and then you have 72 volts. So that's how you go. That's called series. That's putting your batteries in series. By the way, a 12 volt battery is not 12 volts. It's 12.7 to 12.8 fully charged. 11.7 is considered dead. 12.0 volt battery. If you check a 12 volt battery and it's 12.0 volts, you've used up about 80% of its charge. You got like maybe 20% left. Just so you know. All right, check it out real quick before we go much further. I just want to show you this battery. So there's your 3 12 volt 10 amp hour batteries in the bag, and you can see that there's still enough room here. So you could go with a 48 volt kit and put that one last battery in there. You could also go with 12 amp hour batteries and have room. The 12 amp hour batteries are slightly bigger. It would be really close, but it would fit. You can do 12 volt, 12 amp hour batteries and go a little bit further with your charge. Problem is that's really freaking heavy. Right now, this has some weight to it. Even just this right here. This battery pack right here has some weight to it. It's like 12 pounds of battery right there. 12 or 13 pounds. I don't remember exactly, and I don't have a scale. And then when you put your batteries together like that, I always like to put my tape around the pigtails here whenever I do anything that's going to vibrate. So now all I got to do is grab the positive there and a negative there and make my pigtail to come up with the Anderson connector to right here with a little extra lead, because you never know what you're going to do. And then also you could take this battery pack from bike to bike to bike to bike. All right, guys, we're outside now. We'll go ahead and play with this thing. I know what y'all are gonna start out asking, how fast does it go? Guess we'll find out. So you got your power level assist, 4, 3, 2, 1, no assist. So you can give it throttle and you're not gonna go anywhere. If you go up to 1, you get a little help. All the way to 2, 3, 4, and 5 is your maximum help. So you could be maxed out here on your speed, but at level 3 and you're only gonna go like maybe 10 miles an hour. It'll slow your speed down and it won't give so much juice to climb hills. Makes you work a little bit harder, makes the batteries last longer. This is your total time of travel, this will be your miles, and this will be your speed. The question is this calibrated to this other company's wheel motor? I don't know. Here's ride, here's start, and here we go. Now like I said, you can pedal all you want. I'm in 14th gear right now. So I mean, I could pedal all I want. I don't have to use the throttle. There's the throttle. This thing's not showing any speed. Oh, because it's on the gear. So yeah, it's saying 18 miles an hour, but GPS has me at 9. 9.7, 9.9, 10. This says 20. I'm going to end up having to adjust that. And there you go. This is direct drive on a 20-inch wheel. Guys. Told you I'd have some crap to do with you guys during the winter. Got ourselves some electric bikes. Casey Neistat ain't got shit on me. Okay, well, okay, I can see. Boosted boards are pretty cool.